Hi there, boys and girls. MIKKEY DEE here. You are listening and maybe checking out Sonic Perspectives. And stay tuned, and you hear more from me.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another interview of Sonic Perspectives. I'm Rodrigo, and we have the pleasure to speak today with the legendary drummer, MIKKEY DEE. MIKKEY, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi there. Thank you for being there.
Yeah. We're going to try to talk about your whole career in about 30 minutes, and that's a lot. But let me start by thanking you for so many years of great music.
Well, thank you as well for listening to it. You know, it's been great music over very many years, actually, and a few great bands. So, yeah.
Well, we're here to promote the reissue of Bad Magic, the last studio album of Motörhead, which came out only a few months before Lemmy passed away. I know there's been a few reissues of Motorhead's catalog lately, but can you tell me why reissuing this album in particular?
Well, it's a great record. It's the last record, and we have a few new songs on there, which were never released on this album. And now we're packaging it in a great package. And I have to start by saying, because I said that to the other station as well, that it hurts my heart a little bit when I read and see a few of our fans that think that we do this for money. There's no money in this at all. I mean, this is only to prolong the Motorhead legend and to be able to give our fans another great box set packaging, some new songs, some new live material, even an interview with Lemmy. It's just to prolong Lemmy's dream and the Motorhead dream. So there's really no cash in it for us. I wish it was sometimes, but there really isn't. So that's kind of sad to hear some people take it that in that direction, that, oh my God, Lemmy's turning around in his grave. You guys are only trying to make money, suck up money from fans. That's the last thing we want to do. We want to give our fans something, you know. So
of course,
if they don't want to buy it, just don't fucking buy it. Because you know, anyway, it's a great record, and as I said, it's a fantastic packaging and a good opportunity. We also released these lost tapes with live recordings around the world. That's also the same thing. It's a great collector's item, and it's a great thing for maybe younger generations that have not been able to see Motorhead, you know. So
and what is the process? I agree, of course. And what is the process right now to decide what gets reissued? I mean, do you and Phil Campbell have a say in it, or do you guys discuss this with the Lemmy estate? Or
absolutely, we have a say in it. I mean, if we don't want to release something, we won't release anything. I mean, no matter what anyone says. But we try to keep it as tasteful and high quality as possible. You know what I mean? It's like it has to be with a full respect and tastefulness and the good vibe that we do this. We're not throwing a bunch of shit out there, you know. It has to be a good thing, and in my book, I think this is a good thing. And people that disagree, that's fine with us. Because when we were active as a band and released a record, we had people that disagree if it was a good album or not album. But the three of us, we loved the record, and we released it, and we didn't give a shit if they hated it, but it was a great bonus if they enjoyed it, of course.
Of
So,
course.
and it's the same attitude with this stuff.
Yeah.
It's only meant to be for our fans, an addition to whatever we can give them, you know. Lemmy's still not around, and he will never be again, and we will never be Motorhead as a band again. Me and Phil will never tour ever as Motorhead, but you
Please
can do
don't.
a lot of other stuff. No, we don't.
Yeah.
But you can do a lot of good stuff to prolong the Motorhead legend. And look at right now, I'm doing so much press for this album with time I really don't have right now because we're about to leave with Scorpions. So, but if we didn't release it, it'll be quiet and people start forgetting about us, and we don't want that.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, the care and attention that you have with the back catalog and the material shows in the 2 bonus tracks that you chose to include in this album, because the video treatment as well is so great. I mean, Bullet in Your Brain has, footage of you guys recording the album, and then Greedy Bastard with that cartoon. It could
animation.
not be, that animation could not be more current, right? With the current events that we have right now, so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you want your kids to go with a mask to school? You know what I mean? You guys have been a little crazy up there in Canada.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, which is bad, but I hope it's better now. But I mean, you're totally right there. It's a very, very active song, and and I really like that animation. I saw a lot of negative shit about it. I think it's a dirty, nasty, almost a little scary animated thing. So I kind of like it, you know.
Yeah, I agree. And interesting choice of covers on the album as well. Sympathy for the Devil and Heroes from Dave Bowie. I mean, if it was like the mid 80s, I would never picture Motorhead doing those 2 cover songs ever.
No, neither would we. But here's 2 songs. I mean, we love Bowie, we loved Stones, Beatles. Lemmy wanted to maybe make a Beatles song one day, but he was not too happy. He didn't want to make the Bowie song first. It was Phil that wanted to insist that we tried to record this song, because Lemmy said, I don't want to destroy that song. But it turned out to be one of his favorite songs, actually.
Yeah, it turned out well, for sure.
Yeah, so I'm glad we did it, you know.
Yeah. And the bonus disc is quite a treat for the fans, with the live performance at the Fuji Festival in, I think, July 2015. I mean, hearing that performance now, do you think Lemmy kind of knew he didn't have much time left, or?
No, I don't think that he had those. I know he didn't have these thoughts at all, but he did struggle with his health, and that was a pain in the ass for Lemmy, because he wanted to live his normal life so much, you know. But he had some good days and bad days, and 15 was a tough year for Lemmy, you know, and for all of us, obviously. But I know for a fact that he had no idea that he would actually pass away. I mean, die by the end of that year. He had no clue about that.
Yeah. And I read somewhere that he actually asked you to join Motorhead initially in 1984, but that didn't work out. At the time, they got Pete Gill, who didn't last long. Why didn't that work out then?
I actually, the real question I got to join Motorhead was 1986.
Oh, okay.
And we were doing great with King Diamond. And I had no reason to leave King Diamond. I felt that I haven't earned my stripes on my shoulders yet, you know.
Right.
Motorhead was a very special band, and a different division.
Mhm.
I didn't think I had enough experience, and we were doing great with King, and I never jumped between any bands for money or fame. Where I'm happy, I stayed, so I'm glad I didn't join until I did, because I wasn't ready, for Motorhead.
Right.
No way.
Yeah. Well, I must have seen one of the first tours when you guys went back to the trio format. It was 1996 in Rio, where I come from. You guys opened for Skid Row, or no, you were sandwiched between Skid Row and Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
did you guys consider bringing a second guitarist when Verso left, or?
No, there was never a talk about that, actually. I actually called the record company and talked to them. No, it was actually our manager that I spoke to, said, what are we going to do? Are we going to get another guitar player? And we said, we had 3 guitar players. We need a bass player,
Yeah.
Let me play more guitar on bass. No, it was never really a talk about it. Phil was very happy that he had a chance to shoulder this on his own,
Yeah. And I think over time he kind of changed his approach to the live performance, because when Burzo was in the band, he was a little bit more still,
quiet,
right? Yeah. And then he kind of developed that stage persona a little bit more over time.
Yeah. That's what he told us. He said, I like to go fucking crazy now, and me and Lemmy said, go ahead, just do whatever.
Yeah. Well, King Diamond is where I first got to know you, in the distant year of 1989, when I took a chance and bought Abigail. I gotta say, your drumming on those first King Diamond albums helped shape the band's sound as much as King's voice. I don't know if you agree with that statement or not.
Yeah, it's fair enough. It's okay.
Yeah.
Because Fatal Portrait, Abigail, Them, and Conspiracy, 4 great records, and that kind of shaped where King was going, I would say.
Yeah.
But musically, we did a lot together, and I still think it's great music, and we created something that inspired a lot of bands.
Oh yeah. And I think, well, I never heard cymbals being used that way beforehand, but I think it kind of set the template in metal for a few years. Can you comment on that style a little bit, where you do the the right cymbal, that kind of technique?
Yeah, well, it was just the way I read music, in a way, how I, same as your T-shirt says, Rush there, right?
Yes.
Neil Peart. What did he think of when he arranged his drums? It was such a personal feel to it, and that's what I was trying to do with King Diamond, to do that people would hear, oh, it's Mikkey Dee playing, and it's the stuff I played and still today play. It's not super hard shit. It's very basic stuff, I thought, but another big drummer told me, who would have thought of that particular arrangement as you did? I would never have listened to the guitar riff in this way as you did. But the stuff I'm playing is not very hard. Anyone can copy that. That's no big deal.
And they did. They did. Yeah.
They copied like fucking rabbits,
Yeah.
but it to me, it was more important to have a unique way of approaching songs, than to show how good I am, do million drum fills that no one can figure out, it's not me. It was more try to play a song to groove to the riff, and at the same time put some color to it, I could easily destroy some of these guitar riffs with beats and drum fills that no one would understand.
Yeah.
And only drummers will say, oh my God, that's incredible. How can he play like this?
Yeah.
But the song sounds like shit.
Yeah.
I wanted to play heavy and play music on my drums, not drums with my drums, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, the rest of the stuff is so busy. I mean, King's voice and
Right.
double twin guitars and everything. It would make sense to have just as busy drums. You know, you pollute the whole thing.
No. You gotta listen to what the song is offering you, you know?
Yeah.
Is the guitar riff, is the music very heavy? You have to play heavy.
Yeah.
And you have to find your little moments where you can do something that it doesn't only sound good, it tastes good when you hear it. You go, wow, that's a good little thing right there. That's enough, you know, that's good.
Yeah. And I'm curious about King's lifestyle at the time. I mean, he's a very eccentric kind of guy, to put it mildly, right? How did you guys, like the rest of the band, navigate towards, you know, his style?
No, we all had a great camaraderie, great family. We all worked really hard together, and we were the best of friends, you know. And we still are great friends, all of us. I mean, I talk a lot to Andy, Pete, and Hal. Unfortunately, not with my good friend Timmy anymore. Sometimes I talk to Michael Denner, and I talk to King when he's in Dallas, you know. So we stay in contact, you know.
Okay. I keep hoping for a reunion of, you know, that classic era of King Diamond, those first 4 albums.
Now you have to talk to King Diamond about it.
Maybe. We'll see if I can make that happen. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, by the way, I spoke with Snowy Shaw about 3 years ago when his book came out, and he mentioned you were kind of his mentor, and you recommended him to replace you in King Diamond's band.
He was one of them, yeah.
Okay.
He was.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he never really got to play long. He did that one tour, but
yeah,
he's a great drummer, and he's a great guy, and I'm glad that I've been able to help him. He was carrying my drums when he was a younger boy, up and down some stairs, up and down for rehearsals with a Swedish band I had, and I've known him for many years. So he's a great drummer, and and he did good with King, I think so.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Well, let me ask you about your current role with Scorpions. It's crazy that you joined the band in 2016, and only 6 years later, first studio album with you on drums was released.
Well, we were touring too much, you know.
Yeah.
Touring, yeah. And did you see us in Toronto?
I did in 2017 with who was opening? Alice Cooper, maybe? No, Megadeth. Megadeth.
Yeah. You did not see us now.
No,
when we came.
No, not on the latest tour. Yeah,
that was a fantastic show. That was a great show, and Toronto is such a good rock town, you know.
Yeah.
Same at Montreal and Quebec City. We did fantastic, and it was because we were touring too much, and to make a record, you need to have the inspiration, you know. You have to be inspired by writing new songs, and these guys were so excited, and me too, to be touring. We did great. We got offers the whole time. We could stay out till we fucking fainted, you know. But so I think it was right to wait a little bit. Let me come in the band, and they get used to me, and me get used to them, you know. And and now we sound better than ever. So it was the right time.
Okay, and I'm assuming you're now in the pre-production stage of the upcoming tour, right? Of Rock Believer.
Yes. Yeah. With Brazil as well.
Yeah, I know. People are excited out there to see you guys come back. Yeah. Tell me, are you gonna play Overkill again, or?
No, we did that. That's finished.
Okay.
But in my drum solo, I have a thing, as you've probably seen, with Lemmy coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll keep that. And no, it was me actually that stopped. I said 3 years, it's enough, you know.
Yeah.
It was a good little serenade to them, you know, and
Yeah.
people loved it. But now we have a great show, and that's what we're gonna focus on in
Awesome.
South America now.
Yeah. Well, before I let you go, let me ask you about two standalone albums you did. The first one with Don Dokken, Up From the Ashes, and the other one with Halloween, Rabbit Don't Come Easy. Two very
Right.
distinct albums and situations, but I keep wondering what could have been if you played with Don or Halloween for a bit longer. Was that ever a chance with either band, or?
Absolutely. We were a band with Don Dokken.
Mm.
We were a full band. The only problem is that grunge kind of hit,
Oh, yeah.
and it killed a lot of the bands out there in California. So
Yeah.
John Norum, he said he was going to do his solo album. Peter Baltes went back to Accept. Billy White was starting up Watchtower, and it was just me and Don left. And
Yeah.
and Don said, "Look, you know, I don't think anything's going to happen anymore." So, and then Lemmy called again and said, "What are you doing, Mickey?" And I said, "Well, it looks like the Don Dokken thing is falling apart. So let's go."
Right.
And then 25 years almost, those crazy bastards.
Yeah. And Halloween, I think, was only a one-off, right?
That was only the record. Yes, they had a problem with their drummer.
Mm-hmm.
He was a little sick or something, and I had some time. They called me and asked if I could fly to Tenerife and do the record. And I actually had a few days to fly down and do the record. So it turned out a very good album.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a great band.
Yeah.
A very hard album to record, I have to say. Oh my God. Because I didn't know the songs, and my head was like a pumpkin, you know. Oh my God.
Right.
But they wrote some great songs. They did a great job with that record, I think so.
Yeah, I still hear it to this day. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, Mickey, thank you so much for your time and for another Motorhead release. Please keep them coming, and all the best with the new Scorpions tour.
Thank you very much. I hope to see you out there.
Cheers.
All right.
Have a good one. Bye.
Ciao. Bye-bye.